Well, first of all, congratulations to Miles Turner, all-time leader in Pacers franchise history in block shots, passing the great Jermaine O'Neal. And Miles was dominant tonight. I think he had, how many blocks did he have?
5.
5 blocks. And, every one of those was needed. And so a hearty congratulations to him. If you want to check out the celebration, check it out on Pacers Instagram. Pretty cool. And love the way we played. Tough game. Both teams are playing well. This building's as loud as any building in the league. We had to survive an early onslaught of shot making, which you just expect in here. But our guys kept their poise. Tyrese put together a masterpiece tonight. Both scoring, assists, playmaking, and defense too. And so he was great. Siakam was great. A lot of guys really contributed. Nembhard and Nesmith in particular did a great job chasing Curry and Thompson around. I mean, those two guys are murder. And when you're playing against a team where you got 3 guys you're playing against who just go by, everybody just calls them by their first name, and they're going to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, you're going against something special. And so this is a great win for us, and really, really, really happy for the guys.
I guess just to keep going on defense, I mean, you held them to 17 of 50, I think, in the second half, or like maybe 4 of 23 from 3. I mean, just to keep going on what they did. I mean, just what do you feel like you guys were able to do, just sort of, flipping a switch to play as tough a defense as you did in the second half?
We had to amp up our attitude in the second half, just our overall, nastiness to compete and get physical. The half started out well. Drew got a layup on the first play. It was back and forth a little bit. Then we got a little bit of separation. And the important thing was to keep concentrating defensively and keep running. Keep running. So, we were able to do those things. And, this is every game's important. I mean, there's no point in overstating that.
Just, you mentioned Drew before. I mean, obviously he's running through a billion screens and having to chase Curry, which has got to be one of the toughest assignments there is. I mean, just what all stood out to you about just what he was able to do to make him work? I think he was 9 of 23, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, look, anytime you hold Steph Curry under 30 in this building, you've done an amazing job. I mean, the guy's, just one of those guys. He's just different and beyond special. And the first 3 or 4 minutes of the game, he hit 2 or 3 threes, and the biggest problem we were having in the first half was we were not getting the loose balls. We got 10 out of 25 loose balls in the first half, and they got 3 or 4 of their threes off of those. Second half, we were getting the loose balls, and that was a big difference.
Just, last one, just want to go back to what you said about Tyrese and just his masterful job. Obviously, he gets a couple shots to fall as well, and that's not everything, but his overall offensive performance, just what stood out to you, and also just, what most impressed you about what he also did on defense?
Just thought the recognition, the aggression, the timely shot making. I mean, the shot at the end of the third quarter was enormous. It takes it from 11 to 14. There's a huge difference there, and they only had 1 timeout left. So, look, special players do special things, and he was great tonight.
Coach, when you look at that second half, the way your team came out possessed on defense to hold them to what they did, and then forced a lot of turnovers on their end, what was the message said at halftime? Because there was a pretty even first half.
We had to get loose balls, and we had to get more physical. And I just said it a moment ago, we just had to, bring our attitude up. We just had to have a defiance to how we were playing defensively and offensively. And we did better. I mean, all the stats show that. Look, holding this team to, whatever it is, 111 is really a great collective effort. And so my hat's off to our guys. This is a hard game.
Rick, good to see you.
Good to see you.
With Tyrese, obviously this is the guy that you got used to seeing your entire time in Indiana with him, and you've seen everything in this league, so you know that a guy like that is going to get back to where he was. But how, if at all, did you try to have an impact on him during this stretch where he struggled, whether it's schematically, off the court, talking to him, and overall, just how have you seen him try to navigate the tough stretch?
Well, there's a lot of communication that goes on. The comeback from a hamstring, is a climb. It's a gradual climb, and so even when you get back to where you're completely pain and soreness free, you still don't have your training camp conditioning base, and so it's taken a little while to build that back up. But he's making constant progress. Constant progress. They may not be huge leaps, but he's making progress, and big difference right now between how he's moving and how he was moving 2.5, 3 weeks ago. And so that's the big thing. And he's a guy that has a brilliant mind for the game, is extremely resourceful, and so during a lot of this period, he's been talking about ways to get other guys involved and to help the team as he's trying to get back to where he needed to be, and so he's getting close.
Have you seen, just a quick follow, he talked the other day about a lot of it being mental from a confidence standpoint and just the way he approaches the game, especially a guy like that where when he gets hot, nobody's stopping him. How has he navigated that part? I mean, he had a shot late tonight that could have sealed it, and it seemed like he was pretty frustrated himself even on a good night. When you seeing the confidence go up and down a little bit?
Yeah, it's not a confidence thing, it's a process thing. And for me, it was just a matter of time. And in recent games, the ball's been going in more, and so as that happens, it's going to energize a player, and so you gotta ride that momentum, and we got to make sure that his body is fresh, and it's this has been a testament to the strength of his will as a player to go through all this, and so it just raises my level of admiration for him, both as a player and as a human being.
You mentioned how hard it is to win here. Your Pacers are now 5-0 in this building. How impressive is that stat, given what you just said about how hard it is to win here?
Yeah, you don't look backward. They won the last game in our building. Who cares? It's just we can't get caught up in feeling good about anything like that has to do with some five-year period thing. I mean, we've got less than 48 hours and we play the Lakers, and then we got another 22 hours and we play the Clippers. And so that's the world we're living in. And right now, as we're building this team to be a playoff team and a contending team, these games against high-level teams that are physical and emotional are essential, because you go through the same things that you do in the playoffs. I mean, this atmosphere tonight, not much different than an NBA playoff game. And the more that we can get, the better.